Hello, Pony. My name is Blancmark, and welcome back to Conrad Stevenson's Paranormal P.I. A tier list this time about all of the people that we find in the game, and we have to identify. We have several categories here, and most helpful, jump scare happy, most tragic backstory, etc., etc. A lot of these ghosts will have a tragic backstory, so they will definitely go in there as well. But some of them are, doing more in this regard. Um, so yeah, let's just go with it. This is, I believe, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a little girl who died of tuberculosis a long time ago. In this case, she is not super helpful. She's just a residual ghost, which means that she is unaware of anyone else around her. She's just running around the hallway and stuff and just doing her things. In that case, I would say that she is is he mundane or tragic backstory? It is pretty tragic, right, to have that. But she's also kind of mundane as a residual ghost as well. I would say that she would be along in the most tragic backstory one. We got, I think his name is William Carter. He is, I think, her dad. He turned to alcoholism and such after she passed. She turned down a very dark path, and he is one of the most jump scare happy ghosts, as he will often wander through the house at the main floor or the basement. And when you go near, he goes in a louder voice. He just screams "Help me" at you, and that can definitely jump scare you even if you know it's coming. So definitely gonna, yeah, as a shadow entity, Um, Private Connor is next, and he is definitely a tragic backstory. Also a bit jump scare happy. Um, he's not very difficult to identify. It takes a bit of patience. Um, he is a bit jump scare happy, like a lot of intelligent ghosts, a lot like this, but it's not. I don't think it's intentional. So I would say that he is probably one of the most tragic backstory as well. Um, Trying to remember which one I used for the. I think it might have been Private Connor or William Carter. I'm not entirely sure. There's only like three ghosts there, so if I don't count the. Oh yeah, was it the poltergeist? The poltergeist is like whatever. Um, yeah. So I don't remember if which ghost I used for the temperature and the EMF. I don't remember. I would have to rewatch my series in order to remember. But um, it might have been Elizabeth. It might have been William Carter. It might have been Private Connor. I have no idea. I don't remember, guys. I don't remember. But that's okay. Um, if there's no standout, then so be it. The second house, which has the shadowy lady here. Definitely tragic backstory. Definitely a lady that turned to some darker things, and just overall just kind of like crumbles when she sees you. She is a bit tricky. I mean, she is very visible. She is also a bit tricky. Um, I wouldn't really call it tragic, but like it is tragic. But I guess I guess the little boy Blue. I think his name is David as well. He is. She was his stepmom. He's definitely a bit tricky to identify because he goes between his room and the basement, and yeah, he's definitely a bit tricky to get a hold of. Well, she is probably the most helpful in identifying, getting your things ready. Harold is he just misses his wife. Not super tragic. Is he helpful? I think so. Yeah, he's not mundane. Not really. I mean, a little bit. Also, kind of goes between the kitchen and the basement. Um, the Another poltergeist. I'm just gonna put all the poltergeists in there because they're kind of uninteresting to begin with. Yeah. And then we get to Jefferson Street. Jefferson Street has, what is her name? That's Rhonda Shadow. That is, what was her name again? I don't remember. I want to say Deborah. Is this Deborah? No. Is this Deborah? I want to get it right, but I don't. I don't remember. I think it's Deborah. Anyway, she's the residual ghost on Jefferson Street. She's the mom. She's definitely the most helpful in getting the rest identified. Rhonda is a little less helpful. I think she is. She actually runs away from you when you get too close. She's not super difficult to identify. I would say that she's probably one of the more mundane ghosts in that regard. The demon itself is probably one of the more harder ones to identify, given that he can actually get you and erase evidence and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a bit more tricky to identify. And that brings us to the church on Spruce Street. The pastor is definitely the one I go to for evidence, freezing and like temperature and um, EMF to help me get things, and sometimes a picture and some sounds to get me ready for the actual like ghost that I'm going after. Pastor is always good to have. John Ulrich is definitely jump scare happy. Yep, yep. Like when you encounter him in the graveyard, he will basically just go loudly, "You're not supposed to be here." And he's also kind of jump scare happy in the church, where sometimes you will hear a loud gunshot all of a sudden, which is how he basically. I think he accidentally killed his own son, so it's definitely a tragic backstory. But he's a bad person in general, so I wouldn't call him a tragic backstory. He's just a bad person. Um, Much like her, she just turned to like demonic possession. That's also, is that tragic? Yes, but nah. Pierre, I like Pierre. Pierre's not jump scare happy. He's not super helpful. He's not super difficult. His tragic backs. I think he's the more of a tragic backstory because nobody really appreciated what he was doing. So I would say that Pierre is probably in part of the most tragic backstories. But I like him. He's French and he's very polite to you. So I like him. I like Pierre. Um, as for Siegerstein, probably most difficult to identify because he has such a large area where he roams around in. He does appear quite often, but he has such a large area to roam around in that it's difficult to pin him down for EVP or something. So definitely one of the more difficult ones. Red Eyes. Red Eyes is just an ancient being that guards the forest against the powers of the demon, the Winter Koa. For therefore, I would say that he is not jump scare happy, not helpful, not tragic. Is he difficult to identify? You can kind of go back and forth on the road. It's not super difficult, slightly difficult. I guess he would be more mundane. Difficult would definitely be Williams' boy here, who is definitely a bit trickier to get a hold of. AutoCam is your friend in this case. Getting some sounds, it I've always struggled with this kid because it only has 4 voice lines. He is residual, and yeah, it just takes a while to get all of that done. The lady in white, his mother basically is less difficult to identify. Um, Not jump scary, not super helpful. I would say most tragic backstory, or not. I don't really remember what happened in the backstory. Just going to say mundane. It can be tricky to get evidence out of her. Very true. But that's because she often does the crying walk thing, which takes forever, and that stops her from doing other voice stuff. Hmm. In that case, you know what? Most difficult to identify. Why not? And that brings us to the Winter Koa. For the same reason, the demon is has a larger area and the ability to charge at you and erase your evidence. So not good. I'm actually missing a few. Interesting. Yeah, I'm missing a few. Okay, I'll go over those in a bit. Eli. Eli is tragic. He's not hard to find. He's not helpful. Not jump scare happy. He was during some rough housing. He was accidentally pushed over the railing on the higher floor of the lighthouse and fell and probably broke his neck or something. It was an accident. It sucked. Um, well, Douglas here is yeah, he was a dick. So he's not super difficult to identify, not jump scare happy, not helpful, not tragic. He's just a dick. Gideon, I want to say Arthur Gideon. I'm not sure. Just Dr. Gideon. He is like a field medic. Had to amputate things with a bone saw. He is so tricky to identify, to like trace him around his place and all that. He also likes to jump scare you by just like appearing behind you and is like, "Ah!" not on purpose, but like he tends to do that, like a lot of intelligent ghosts in this game. Poltergeist is again mundane. Oh, George is running across, and it's almost impossible to get in. The sound is okay enough in certain locations. Photo, you need the auto cam 100%. And of course the what is she called? The Rosalka, of course, is again difficult to find, difficult to identify, and can erase your evidence. I'm noticing that we're missing a few of these spirits, so let me quickly have a look at the achievements that I have for this game, because we're missing a couple of spirits that I'm going to address as well. I feel like I wouldn't be. I didn't make this list, so Conrad Stevenson's Paranormal P.I. Let's see who we got. Okay. Yeah. Okay. One of the mysterious shadows. Okay. Deirdre, of course. Is the um, Deirdre is the most helpful ghost in the Bar Harbor lighthouse area. Especially if you take place at the top of the stairs, it's so easy to get your temperature and your EMF and probably even sounds and stuff, and maybe even a photo. It is so good, definitely. Super helpful. Thank you, Deirdre. Also tragic backstory, of course, but then we get Renee Novak, the tour guide in the same building, more on the bottom floor. Sometimes goes upstairs. Can also be helpful in combination with Deirdre, but definitely I would say that she hmm, mundane, I guess, for the most part, if not helpful. The Diligent Shadow, which is I want to say her name is what was her name again? Maria, something like that. I forget her name. Kate. She's in the she was in the Coast Guard. She's in the Coast Guard building. She's a shadow. She can be helpful. I really like her. I would say tragic backstory because I think her husband died in the war. And the cheer captain, um, Melanie, I believe her name is. She was a victim of the lipstick killer, um, who was a guy who was possessed by the Rosalka, and therefore it is a tragic backstory. But I will call her the most jump scare happy character in the entire game because one of her sound clips, even though she is residual, one of her sound clips is a very loud scream. Um, Basically, the moment where she is being attacked and probably ended by the lipstick killer. So even turning my volume like all the way down to like a sliver, it still was incredibly loud. It's like, ugh, don't like that. So yeah, I'm sorry those weren't on the list here, but like I said, I didn't make this list. So but I wanted to give you the those ghosts regardless. And that is the entirety of Conrad Stevenson. So thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. I should go.